Hello everyone and welcome to Port Beggar, where we glorious PC master race beg for ports, beg those nice console players for their glorious superior ports of games. Nah, I can't keep a straight face either. So let's take a look at what we're begging for today, and today we're gonna beg for Vanquish. Now, if you don't know what Vanquish is, it was a game released in 2010. It was a third-person shooter. Came out October 22nd, 2010 in Europe, same day as Fallout New Vegas, weirdly enough. It was developed by Platinum Games and published by Sega, and seeing as we just got Bayonetta on the PC, another game, of course, that was published by Sega and developed by Platinum Games, then why not? Why couldn't we get Vanquish? Is a very different take on the third-person shooter. It was directed by Shinji Mikami, and I think it was one of the only games that was directed by Shinji Mikami while he was at Platinum Games. Of course, Shinji Mikami famously was the director of Resident Evil. His best work there was arguably Resident Evil 4. So having a third-person shooter from Shinji Mikami, the man who revolutionized the third-person shooter genre with Resident Evil 4, certainly was a game I was particularly interested in. Now, it is a third-person cover shooter with a twist, okay? You do have the augmented reaction suit, so if you take damage, what happens is you can automatically enter augmented reaction mode, or AR mode, which essentially is just bullet time, okay? It does help you from being killed. You can manually enter it, okay? You can evade things, and you get the bullet time as well. You've got boosters, which allows you to slide around the air. You could power slide as well, which was awesome. One of the things I loved about Vanquish was the level design. It was crazy. I mean, it swapped third-person shooter. You had bullet hell things mixed in there as well. You had to take advantage of your cooldowns. You could dodge things as well, which would activate the AR mode, the augmented reaction mode. I nearly said augmented reality there. So yeah, the bullet hell element was pretty decent. It did have a lot of destructible cover, which meant that you just couldn't really take cover in one place and just pop off rounds from behind cover, and just have the just sit there and go from cover to cover. It did make you move around, and I like the sense of verticality about the game as well. Fights were very dynamic and they flowed very well. I think the combat was interesting. I would love to see it at 1080p and 60 FPS. I think it would be a huge advantage. It didn't run at 60 FPS on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, so it would be nice to see 4K 60 FPS. Something as good as Bayonetta would be awesome. Again, it's the same publisher, same developers as Bayonetta, so I would love to see it on PC. I think it would certainly benefit from being on PC. The increased resolution, obviously increased graphical fidelity and increased frame rate will make this game, I think, what really realized its potential, because it never really realized its potential. It had sold worldwide less than 1 million copies, which I think is sad, really. More people need to play this game. It's one of those games where it did do something different, because third-person shooters by that time had become kind of stale. They'd become kind of the norm. Every game that was third-person was a cover shooter, and this was a cover shooter, but the way it used your suit so that you could move around faster. You didn't have a sprint button, you did have a power slide button, which was way cooler. You did have levels. It was a great level where you're on a train, and you kind of goes around a rails. It's like a huge roller coaster, and you get other train cars that come up, even train cars that come above you as well, upside down, which is kind of weird. You mostly fought robots in the game, although you do fight other human characters who are in a kind of mech suit. I always think of it as kind of like Metal Gear Rising, almost, you could argue, where you've got a kind of almost a mech type suit on. You can use melee weapons in it as well, they were a thing, but it was mostly gunplay that was pretty much excellent. Of course, Shinji Mikami, we know, again, revolutionized the over-the-shoulder aiming of the third-person shooter. This is here as well, but again, it is a lot faster paced and just hugely satisfying to play. It is a very satisfying third-person shooter. Very few people played it back in the day, but Bayonetta did quite well, so I don't think that Platinum Games could certainly lose by this. There's no way they could lose. Wouldn't cost a huge amount of money, I imagine, to port it to PC. Again, they'd have to add graphics settings support, 4K support, but these things aren't going to cost the earth, and Bayonetta was the second highest selling game on Steam the week it was released. I think PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds was the top selling game for that week. So Bayonetta 2 did decent sale numbers on Steam. I don't have the exact figure, but you know, according to sources, when I say sources, I mean Steam Spy. According to the Steam Spy data, Bayonetta 2 had sold 136,000 copies, nearly 137,000 copies, which is not too bad, actually. I mean, it wouldn't have cost the earth to port that. It was $20 or £15. Something similar with Vanquish would be quite decent. It has sold a reasonable amount of copies. It was the second highest selling game on Steam in its first week of release. The highest selling was, I think, it was PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds was the highest selling game that week, so it did okay sale wise, over 100,000 sales, considering it had no hype and it just came out of nowhere. I think that's pretty damn good. I mean, if Vanquish does similar numbers, again, you know, was 137,000 at $20 a pop is a decent return. It wouldn't have cost a huge amount to port. I imagine it would have cost maybe $1 million or so, maybe, to port. Again, it's not a lot to a publisher like Sega or a company like Platinum Games, and, you know, once it's been out, it just prints money, essentially, after a while, because you've already made the game. They've already done most of the hard work, but Vanquish really has nothing to lose by being on Steam, and opening the game up to a new audience gives us an opportunity for Vanquish 2. And I know Shinji Mikami, he's no longer at Platinum Games. I don't know who has the rights to it. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe Mikami has the rights, maybe Platinum. I imagine Sega owned the publishing rights, I would imagine, to it. I don't know who owns them, but hopefully we can get something, because it is a decent game that deserves to be showcased by a, you know, to a new audience, I think. And to, you know, the PC is, you know, a decent place for it to be. Should it come to PS4? Should it come to Xbox One? Definitely. Same with Bayonetta. I would have Bayonetta ported to PS4. The PS3 version was awful. Okay, the PS3 version was god-awful. The Xbox One has a version. It has the Xbox 360 version, which is backwards compatible, which ran at 720p and stuck mostly around the 60 FPS mark, but didn't have a lot 60 FPS. So, again, I'd love to see an Xbox One port. I want to see that. Bayonetta, Vanquish. Want to see those games. Platinum Games are an amazing company. They do produce the odd poor game, but generally, if you've got Hideki Kamiya involved or Shinji Mikami, the games were generally good when they were involved in it. You know, when they were involved in the direction of the game. Pretty good. I just wish Microsoft hadn't cancelled Scalebound now. But anyway, that is all for this video. So let me know in the comments, do you want to see Vanquish on the PC? If not, why not? Why wouldn't you want to see Vanquish? It is an amazing game. And if you've never tried Vanquish, if you can find it on the PS3 or the Xbox 360, I would recommend checking it out. It is one of the most underrated games of the last generation. You can see why we really want this game. Every article I saw about Bayonetta, everybody said the same. Give us Vanquish. So come on, Platinum. Come on, Sega. We want it. Take our money and give us Vanquish. So that is all for this video. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon, and goodbye.